Now, Nio, for the first 3 months of 2024, they sold just over 30,000 deliveries. Those are the deliveries that Nio has officially reported to date, and we hope things get better now in Q2, as we've been saying. But going back to the 30,000 deliveries that they delivered in Q1, one thing that you must note is that Nio is not selling standard cars or cheap EV cars, but they are selling premium EV cars, which makes it a bit difficult for them, ladies and gents, to sell as much. But however, we've been seeing Nio some months selling, I mean, the record that Nio has on a month to month is selling over 20,000 in 1 month, and I think that was back in July of 2023. So otherwise, all the other months they've been below 20,000, which is something that must just show you how difficult it is to see Nio sell over 20,000. And like I said, it is because they are selling premium EV cars, which are not that cheap. So it is not many people that can afford the Nio cars. In fact, low to middle income earners can't really afford Nio cars. It is the middle to high income earners that can, of course, afford the Nio cars, which makes it difficult for Nio to sell as much as some of the mass market brands are selling out there. Now, ladies and gents, regardless of all these 30,000 year to date, meaning that from the 1st to the 14th of April, Nio has sold 35,600 vehicles. I mean, we got this report, or this report came out, I think just yesterday, showing how far Nio is year to date, which puts Nio at position number 3 on the cars that are starting from 200 going up, which is why on this list it would be obvious that you will find Tesla leading this, because most of their cars, ladies and gents, in fact, one of their cars that sells very well, it's just priced over 200,000 RMB, and that is the Tesla Model Y, which is doing very well in terms of sale. You also have got Zeekr, ladies and gents, also is sitting at position number 2 with total sales from the 1st of January to the 14th of April of around 37,400 vehicles. So Nio sitting at 35,600 vehicles just has to show you that, of course, when we look into vehicles of over 200,000, Nio is in the top 3. But if you are to go to vehicles that are over 300,000, which in fact all of their Nio models are over 300,000, you will realize that Nio, ladies and gents, takes the first spot, or Nio is number 1. In fact, the last time I checked, Nio's sales were corresponding to around 40%, or Nio market share on vehicles or EV vehicles over 300,000. It was around 40%, which just shows you that Nio in its segment is doing pretty well. It's doing pretty good. It's just that what is happening in the market is that now people are going for these cheaper versions, because what is happening, we are seeing also car companies producing cheap EVs that looks good, or with good technology, which ends up leading people, a lot of people, or that market being swamped because number one, they are cheap, and the mass market, or the people in general, can afford those cars, which is why we see them usually do well. But on the other hand, Nio, ladies and gents, on the market share of the cars that, ladies and gents, that are over 300,000 RMB EV cars, they are still number 1 with around 40% of the market share, which is something that is pretty exciting. And what makes it interesting, like I said, is that you will know that currently Nio does not have any car that is less than 300,000 RMB, which makes it very interesting, which is why this list that I'm showing you here of cars that are over 200,000 RMB, it once again, ladies and gents, Nio is not like they do have a car over, yes, they have cars over 200,000, but their cars are not even 200,000. There's no car in the 200 to 300,000 RMB, but yet Tesla, Zeekr, they have that kind of a car, which is why, ladies and gents, you will see them, of course, selling much better than Nio. I mean, the Zeekr model starts at around 269 RMB, whilst Tesla Model Y around the same price, which is why you would see both the cars doing really well in the market. That is, of course, of the cars that are over 200,000 RMB. But when you go to the market that is over 300,000 RMB, Nio has got a very good solid market share there, which is something that shows you that though we are complaining about the deliveries in its segment, in its market, Nio is doing very well. I mean, 40%, I mean, that's a serious domination when you look into their segment, which is something that we need to always have at the back of our minds when we look into Nio's deliveries. Yes, we know that before this year ends, Nio would have been selling a car in the segment of between 200 and 300,000 RMB, which will be very interesting to see the kind of market share that Nio will have then, because as we speak now, honestly, you can't really compare Tesla Model Y with Nio. You can't really compare Zeekr 011 against Nio, because price wise they are not the same, they are not priced the same, which obviously these ones, because they can afford it by many people, they will have more customers, whereas Nio won't be afforded by so many people because it is a premium brand selling premium vehicles. I mean, compare Nio with BMW, Mercedes. I mean, there you know that if they were being beaten by those EV cars being produced by those two brands there, then we would obviously be talking a different language to say Nio is not, of course, selling enough, or Nio is not doing as much, which is something that, of course, like I said, it will be a different topic. But as it stands right now, Nio, the reason why, ladies and gents, even on this list is sitting at the third position, it's because, ladies and gents, Nio is selling quite expensive cars that can be afforded by so many people. And once the Onvo sub-brand gets launched, then we will see other people or the consumers who could not afford the Nio car by going to buy their Onvo cars, because, ladies and gents, they will be affording that car as it will be priced in the same segment as Zeekr and Tesla Model Y, which is something that will be so interesting to see the kind of sales that Nio will produce for the sub-brand when they start delivering that model. Otherwise, one EV maker that, of course, you need to watch out for on the segment of over 200,000 is Xiaomi. Xiaomi, ladies and gents, you'll know that they just launched an SU7, which sales wise it is doing pretty good. I mean, from the NEV Insurance registration report yesterday, Xiaomi had 2,400 insurance registrations, which shows you that in the next month or two we could see Xiaomi, ladies and gents, having some pretty solid, of course, competitive numbers, which might put them on the third spot, which is something that I think it's worth noting. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. When I saw this report, I just thought there will be so many people that might still be confused as to why is companies like Zeekr and Tesla in China doing very well in terms of sales as compared to Nio. Well, that is the reason. The reason is that Tesla, ladies and gents, has got a vehicle that is somewhere between 200 and 300,000. That is the Model Y, which Nio plans to tackle that with their upcoming Onvo model L60, which is something that is pretty exciting. Same goes with Zeekr. Zeekr 001 starts at 265,000 RMB, which makes it, of course, a bit cheaper and makes people, of course, to have a wider market than that which Nio has, which they are winning because of their prices, which Onvo for Nio, ladies and gents, we just hope, we pray that it's a breakthrough and it unlocks the sales and comes and gives competition. Companies like Zeekr, Tesla, Xiaomi, and the others in this segment of cars over 200,000 RMB. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I just thought I'd just give you this quick updates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you buy Nio for the very first time, it is always good that you do your own DD so that at least you can be comfortable as you are investing onto this stock. Otherwise, that's all from me, and God bless you all.